Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show. I'm your host, Tom Kelly. With me, as always, my main man, Willie Guns.
They got me dancing.
James Scorza. Claude Giroux jersey in place of Joe Marks. How you doing? We'll get into some Fly Guys talk a little later on. Joey, I seen from one group text that Joey and I are on that he's taking his normal Joey stance on things, which is good. Joey couldn't be here. He is on dad duty today. Rob could not be here because he got called into work. So you got us three today.
Which ain't bad.
It's all right, James. Don't be alarmed.
What happened there, James?
Don't be alarmed.
Whoa. I guess so. Whoa, buddy. Easy.
Before everything falls apart, let's get into some of our great sponsors for the show. Fantees.com. Fantees.com for all you folks out there and your sports fans in your life. Fantees.com is the way to go. I myself can't get things off Fantees.com because I'm a larger fellow, but a lot of you guys out there, check them out, give them a shot, and use the promo code Edge of Philly Sports. If you use the Edge of Philly promo code, you get 20% off. And to go along with that shirt, why don't you get yourself an Edge of Philly hat? They come in 4 colors: green and cream, black and white, charcoal and red, and charcoal and orange. I rock the green and cream one myself, but I have my eye on that charcoal and orange one, especially for the Fly Guys. Let's get into some of the shows on the network here. First off, we'll start with the guys over at Birds IQ. Kyle and Eric Quinn. Those guys are on Sunday nights at 7. Times may change or may vary due to the fact that we're in the off season and things like that. But go on the EOP website. You can find out, when those guys will be live and, bringing you some Birds news and coverage. The Broad Street Bullies podcast with Drew, Doyle, and Jeff. Those guys bring the knowledge and the laughs when it comes to Flyers hockey. And they sure do got a lot to talk about this year. That's for sure. Cannot forget my guys over at Philly Press Box Radio with Jimmy Chesko and Bill Furman. Week in and week out, those guys have top-notch guests, and they ask some of the best questions. Some funny, some serious, but they're always bringing you the best guests in the business. In the Philly sports media market. So please check out my guys over at Philly Press Box Radio. They're on Wednesdays at 7. And my guys over at Broad Street Bullies podcast, they're on Sunday nights at 8. They may do some live shows, some intermission shows and stuff like that. You check them out on Facebook and you'll see those guys over there. Now let's get into the big show, the Edge of Philly Sports Show with Al, Joe, and Freddie. Those guys are on 9:30 on Wednesday nights. Check out those guys. We had Joe Marks was on their show the week before last, and there were some fireworks going off for sure. So check out some of their back shows too, but they're on Wednesday nights at 9:30. For all you lacrosse heads out there, Kevin and Gary over at Lax Philly. Nobody brings you more lacrosse news, info, knowledge than Kevin and Gary. They have a live show. They're going to be coming out with some live shows soon, so be on the lookout for that. And with that said, boom, here we are. Okay, so I wanted to get into this week's small business, our support small business, our small business initiative. We're just out here looking to show support, show some love to small businesses. We're not asking for anything. Just give us some info, and we'll try and point some folks in your direction. So this week, small business initiative, small business that we're spotlighting is a place called Sit and Spin Records. Sit and Spin Records is at 2243 Lambert Street. They're on the corner of West Passyunk and Lambert Street down in South Philly. The owners, Leora and Colin, that's my record store. Okay, so Leora and Colin, I was actually, at the time when I was working at FedEx, I actually delivered their shelves and stuff when they moved in. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a huge music guy. I have an entire, there's an entire wall in our house dedicated to music. They're putting some stuff together for a new music show that'll be coming out soon. Be on the lookout for that. We'll get into that later. Due to COVID right now, Sit and Spin is by appointment only, but you can call and get same-day appointments. It's 267-773-8345. They buy and sell records. You bring your old ones in. They'll take a look at them for you and see if they can give you a fair price. But by far, this is my favorite record shop in the city. I've been out in Delco about 5 years now, so I haven't gotten down there recently. But was talking to Colin this week and last week, and it just reminded me how great people they are. And again, in these times, when it comes to small businesses, let's see if we can reach out and help. And until we get through the COVID situation, get out there and support our small businesses. So it's Sit and Spin Records for all of your music needs. It's not just records. They have other things there. They have the merch cellar, which is just the coolest collage of awesome rock and roll items, jackets, shirts, patches. It's amazing in there. I'm literally like a kid in a candy store every time I go in there. So Sit and Spin Records, 2243 Lambert Street. Make sure you call 267-773-8345. Ask for Colin or Leora and set yourself up an appointment to go in there and get yourself some music today. That's Sit and Spin Records at 2243 Lambert Street in South Philly, the corner of West Passyunk and Lambert Street. Stop in and see those guys. That picture on your screen is actually of Colin and Leora. I guess they had a character, somebody draw it. But, check those. Go out there, give them a call, set yourself up an appointment today to go in and check out some tunes, man. It's all about the rock and roll. With that said, Willie Guns, Backstabbers Podcast. Give me some info, brother. How's you're what, 8 episodes in now?
Yeah, eight episodes in, and we have a lot of help for it. Like, I didn't think I'd get that much. I thought it would just basically be myself and Stango just talking, and we put out really good content, but never get any help like that. And then now you'd be surprised how much help you can really get when you reach out to people. I've been making friends with wrestlers across the United States, man.
I see some of the stuff you're sharing and posting. That's awesome, dude.
Hey, I got to get in the family somehow, man.
Right?
And it's working. There's a few guys that I'm already talking to. Every single wrestler that I have talked to, not even on the show, but off the show, has been nothing but helpful. And it's moving, man. It's entertaining. It's funny. I mean, Stango and I like to bust each other's balls, which I just basically just correct him on some dumb shit he says, and that's it.
So you have my job on your show, essentially. Oh, okay.
I will say it's fun being the host. I really enjoy it, especially when it's my show.
It can be.
It's my show. I just went on Facebook Live trying to tell people, give it a shot. If you don't like wrestling, somebody that likes wrestling. You always got that guy Thanksgiving with a friggin' wrestling shirt on. Christmas Day, they were 2 for $25. I had to get them. There's wrestling fans out there. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Last night I thought it because maybe I'll watch some SmackDown for a little bit. Didn't get a chance to, but yeah, thank you.
It's okay, man.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it's really good to know that you're being successful with that, and it's like whatever gets you in the door.
Hey, I don't care if I got to do it for years. Yeah. I'm happy that I'm meeting these wrestlers, and I don't even care if it never picks up. I'm just happy that I'm getting to talk to actual wrestlers.
Yeah.
I talked to me and Pat had a nice conversation last night, Pat Bernard.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And he was telling me he'll help me out with everything he knows, his connections.
That's awesome. You should get him on just to talk, man.
There's so much reaching out, Tom, that I don't know. I almost have to set up a damn calendar.
You do?
To what I got to have on. Like, I have a special tag team episode coming up that I didn't even set up yet. I have Bruce Ween. I don't know if that's pronounced it right, but I got to interview him today.
Nice.
And then after that, I'm doing Ty Reno, the general manager of I think it's American Championship Pro Wrestling.
Cool.
Nice.
And the reach out's great. Everybody that's watching right now, just give it a listen. If you don't listen, I don't care. Just give me the listen. Just click on it. hear my voice, cut me off. I don't care.
And just share it.
And share it. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. And if you know any wrestlers, tell them to reach out to me.
There you go. Send them Willie Guns' way. So there you go. Backstabbers Podcast. They do 2 a week. They try and bring you just some laughs, some knowledge, and not just WWE, but kind of wrestling from all over.
We basically, after Raw, we'll talk about exactly what happened on Raw, and then we'll get into whatever else we think that's going on in wrestling, some old talk. We never, ever go through a show where it's all modern.
Okay.
And then SmackDown, I'm always usually having to do the SmackDown show, and then there's an interview. And on the Raw show, we have Bad News Louie. Louie always gives info on a wrestler that we're talking about that had the best match on the show or something like that.
Right.
And Louie's great. Louie texts me all the time with this happened, Will, this happened, Will. I'm like, that's what we need. That's what we need on the show. Big shining, Paul White. Paul White is now with AEW, and Paul White is, the Big Show.
Yeah.
He said that there's a big Hall of Famer. Now, he didn't say whether it was WWE or WCW coming to AEW. So AEW's coming big, man.
There you go.
And that's that for my show. We'll get back to our show right here.
Beautiful, beautiful. I always want to make sure I give you a shout out, a chance to, let everybody know what's going on. James, we need to get you with the James Scores an Hour. We need you to put a show out with none of us idiots on there. Just you by yourself doing what you do. You know what I mean?
It's funny. I was thinking to myself, was maybe there's Scores Up spotlights I could do. I could probably do them again.
There you go. I would love it.
Yeah, I mean, I do have. I mean, a lot of people tell me, it's just, dude, you got a skill doing like your play-by-play stuff, and it's just like I might probably consider maybe since I got the Anchor app, maybe I'll be maybe I'll probably put my stuff out there.
There you go.
I totally want you to do it, and I would help you out with that.
I appreciate that.
You have so much support with that.
100%. Jesse Bell likes your shirt, Willie Guns.
Yeah. I like it too.
El Capo in the building representing the WCBB. Let's get into your Philadelphia 76ers. Man, what a time it is right now to be a Philadelphia 76ers fan.
Aren't they fun to watch,
dude? Man? Instead of giving me a reason why Embiid would win the MVP, find me one reason why he won't win. Why, other than injury and things of that nature, knock on wood, God forbid.
Right.
Find me a reason why Joel Embiid can't win the MVP. Is almost a better question than finding me a reason why
somebody gets red hot on another team in the league. Maybe Durant starts picking it up. Kyrie Irving starts banging out 40 a game. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen for him not to get league MVP.
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's just like, if he's not the MVP, then something's wrong with the NBA. I mean, it's just like every single time LeBron wins it, it's like give another kid a chance. I mean, Embiid is playing MVP
basketball.
Thank you. I just lost my train of thought. Thank you, Will.
That's good. You're so excited. That's what it is. I mean, you're finally seeing a 76er. But Allen Iverson's the last one.
And the other thing too is that he's getting consideration from Brandon Marshall, who, by the way, I mean, he's a football guy. If anybody don't know who Brandon Marshall is, and saying he's the MVP, it's like they had to say, maybe Embiid's the real deal. Maybe he can be the MVP, and I really hope he does get that MVP, because this is like Allen
Iverson. He wants both.
Yeah, I mean, if he wants the MVP, and
has anyone ever done that? Has anyone ever gotten Defensive Player of the Year and NBA MVP?
That's a good question.
No, that is a good question. That's
a good question.
I mean,
I could throw that into my hosting duties by Googling.
I mean, he actually wants to win that. He don't even talk about league MVP. Yeah. He already has the stats. It's almost as if he's like, well, that's easy to get. But it's tough to get?
Right.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I want that. That's what he says. It's amazing. And now Simmons wants it.
Right.
Obviously. I mean, every player in the league doesn't want Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, here's the other thing.
Some players don't play defense.
If Embiid wins the MVP, look what happened back in 2001. Iverson was the MVP, and they went to the finals. So it might be a good competition.
Do you think that they might be one piece away, or do you think that it's just a team they have now that can win?
Yeah, I think they're one pick. Not pick away. One player away from being successful. I think you need to get somebody off the bench. Danny Green's washed up. So if you can get Kyle Lowry or somebody that is big like that, like a JJ Redick type.
Yeah, but the thing is I think Danny Green, since he has so much experience,
Sure.
that he could coast through the whole season and he'll show up. I think he'll show up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I really do. He's been there.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like
Antetokounmpo.
he's got Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo won the MVP and Defensive Player
Has
of the Year.
anyone
in the
else
same
ever
season.
done it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
two other players.
And what are those names?
Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon.
So
he's right there.
there's that's a family that he wants to get into.
Damn right, man.
Sure.
And look at those three names. Like, you know, Giannis. Honestly, I don't even think Giannis is as good as Embiid, but he's
explosive.
He's a great player in this era. And then you have two Hall of Famers in Olajuwon and Jordan. Obviously, Jordan's the GOAT right now.
Right now.
I'll throw the qualifier right now out
That's
there.
fine. I'll work with that.
Just so that
That's
you
fine.
don't take my head off, you know, in metaphorically speaking.
I'll see you in like 2 years with that conversation.
Not
2 years,
if
maybe.
the Sixers keep playing this way.
Yo, they could ruin LeBron being the GOAT.
How about that? How about Joel Embiid?
I wouldn't mind that.
And you're Phil. I would hope
No.
you would say that.
I would not mind that.
I would
at
hope
all.
you'd say that.
I mean, I loved Embiid when we drafted him. I wasn't mad at all. I did want Wiggins, but I was like, they
Winless for Wiggins.
better not draft Embiid. I liked Embiid, man.
Yeah.
I heard that he was in our arena shooting threes.
Right.
For the for in the workout. They said, "Is there something extra you can do?" And then that's what he did. He just shot threes and he was draining them. I think he made like 100 out of like 300 or something, which wasn't bad, but that's shooting a lot of threes. And he made them. I heard this story when I was
That's like
driving.
33%, dude.
But it's for a big man.
For a big man,
That's what I'm saying,
exactly.
for a
That's
big
good.
man.
Which
That's
means he worked on his game, but he was basically telling them that I have it. He was showing them
Dude,
that.
isn't he shooting like 40% from three this year?
Yeah, he worked on his game, man. That's it.
Crazy.
The best players in the league. Michael Jordan's the one that actually started that. Michael Jordan started the I needed he got what? Michael Jordan got cut from his junior varsity team.
Yeah.
Right? So Jordan had that chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I think
All the greats do.
Embiid put his own chip on his
It's like
shoulder
to tear your
by the
heart out,
crying. You know, the crying at the end of that game after not Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard hit that crazy buzzer beater.
Quadruple doink. Yep.
And he basically showed passion.
Right.
And some people clowned him for it.
Here we go. Here we go. I'll put this one up there. It's Facebook user. I need to see your name because you come up as Facebook user. So it's probably Chucky. LeBron isn't close to being the GOAT. I don't know about that. I wouldn't say he's not close to being the GOAT. He's got other hurdles to get over before he can be. All right, so it looks like we're getting into this again. So, and it's not Will's fault this time. It's usually Will's fault. It's usually Will's fault. So I'll give Will a reprieve.
That's good. It's content. I mean, it is what it is.
Content is content.
Content is content.
So
we get people talking, man. Other shows are probably going to keep going with the Sixers. We just get into LeBron. I don't know how we do it. LeBron just makes his way through the front.
It always does. It always does. So listen. Go ahead.
Just, I mean, the other thing too is that if you want to say make LeBron probably like one, I mean, not number one because I think it's obvious with Jordan. I mean, he's probably in the top 5 for me as the greatest of all time. He might probably have to win probably one or two more titles to see if he's the greatest of all time. So I get that.
It's just like there's some fans in hockey that hate to hand it to Gretzky.
Yeah,
you know. They're going to hate the hand at the LeBron, but they're going to have no choice.
Jesse Bell, I know you're watching out there.
Jesse knows my feelings on it.
Jesse doesn't want to hand it to Gretzky.
I was on Flyers Nation.
There's a lot of great
I was on Flyers Nation last night
too.
arguing with a bunch of people basically because they were one guy, his buddy said that Crosby is better than Gretzky, he believes, which is insane.
I wouldn't think so.
And then the one guy said, don't sleep on Lemieux, but it's Gretzky.
So this show's going to go off the rails, and it's going to go off the rails quick. And I apologize, but now I got Frank Rocco checking in on Facebook saying that Michael Jordan could not score if Wilt guarded him.
Wow, Michael Jordan can score if anyone guarded
anybody. Anybody. Michael Jordan. I don't care if it's Wilt. I don't care if it's Embiid. I don't care if it's Shaq. Jordan's scoring on anybody because he could do it from anywhere on the floor.
Well, and he didn't need a 3-pointer to do it.
Right, but he could do it from anywhere on the floor.
He did not need a 3-pointer to do it, but he did have a jumper, though. He did have a jumper. Yep. A great jumper, a clutch jumper.
Now, this I will agree with that Frank said. Frank says that titles are won by a surrounding cast. Absolutely. I totally agree with that.
But take that main star out, and they're not in the playoffs.
Nope.
They're not getting there.
Exactly.
I love when people always pull that out, but the NBA is different, man.
Yeah, it's
in hockey, sport. Maybe your best player could go down and team rallies around each other. In the NBA, when your best player goes down, you're dead.
You're done.
Yeah, you're done.
You're dead in the water.
You're dead in the friggin' water. You're done.
Yeah, that's why you need a big three, because they're
take Jordan out. Was that Bulls team going to win all those finals?
No, and everybody says Scottie Pippen, unsung hero. Scottie Pippen this, Scottie Pippen that. Look, Scottie was a great
Scottie Pippen's
complimentary piece to Michael Jordan, and I don't know. Could Jordan have done everything he did without having Scottie Pippen?
I'll just say it. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all right, Guns. You don't have to hide.
I made a mess over
here. You made a mess? That's all right. As long as you clean up your messes.
Damn it.
All right.
Put the lid on good enough.
All right, here we go. Now Jesse's checking in. So now we're into GOAT talks.
And
God, we've gone completely off the rails. And it's okay because it's our show. It's our show. And we can do what we want.
It's our show, exactly.
So Jesse says, Gordie Howe, Bobby Orr, come on now. Get Gretzky out of here. So there's this argument that
I would put Brett Hull on that list too.
Yeah, Hull's up there.
I think you friggin' have to say Gretzky's number one. I mean, there's Gordie Howe's stats are nothing compared to, and I know Jesse hates stats, but here's the thing. No one will Ovechkin, if he stays, he may, because of longevity, get more goals than Gretzky, but he'll never get more assists. Look at all the assists Gretzky has. And then people are going to say, oh, well, it was easy to get an assist back then. That's it. Assists set up goals, okay?
There's a lot of great players of all time I can name.
Dude, Gretzky was at the end of his career and still played well on the Rangers. Still was what did he have? He had one season where he had 70 damn assists.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you hear a guy having 70 assists when he's freaking at the end of his career?
50 goals in 39 games. That's unheard of.
So what do you think Ovechkin averages goals per season wise? 30?
He might be 35, 40. I don't know.
Who's that?
Ovechkin. He's big consistent.
Ovechkin. I think he's like 35,
I think
36.
if Ovi wins that goal thing, especially in this day and age, then he could probably be in the second place conversation. But nobody's going to take Gretzky out.
He might be the probably second greatest of all time, and he probably could score as many goals.
He could. He possibly could.
Because it's like Gretzky scored 800 something.
See, my thing is I don't even think it's a conversation. That's the thing. It's funny how people talk about it. I don't even think it's a conversation.
Right.
I think that Gretzky gets really disrespected because he was the best. Right. He was that kid
Tom Brady
that everybody was jealous. He's pretty much Tom Brady. Yeah. He pretty much is Tom Brady Gretzky. He really is because, Jesse, I agree. Gordie Howe was great. I mean, but you're going back, Jess. You keep talking about these older players. Mm-hmm. Gretzky still is one and is still considered the GOAT. That's what you got to think. And the fact that Gretzky came out after them and is known as the greatest and he's the great one. When you get called the great one in a sport.
Yeah.
So
come on, man.
Here you go.
Yeah,
you were talking about Ovechkin and you were talking about maybe he would catch him. Ovi's 35 years old. If he's averaged 35 goals a season for the next 5 seasons, he still wouldn't catch Wayne Gretzky.
See, he has to stick around forever. That's what I was saying. It sucks, man. But Gretzky almost seems like people are going, oh, well, that was just thrown in his cereal, those goals, those assists.
Gretzky has almost 100 more goals than Gordie Howe, right? I know, and
I has to tell you something.
Like he has he has 200 more than Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
He has 150 more roughly than Brett Hull.
I mean, Yager might be on
Esposito, he has 170 more.
Steve Yzerman, maybe.
Why don't you mention games played too there? I would like to hear the games played there because
I'll work on that.
Gretzky, I think, played less games than them, didn't he?
I'm not sure. Now Jesse's point, I don't know how we started with Sixers. Now we're in the Flyers.
Okay. It's cool.
So it's a little haphazardly today. We don't have Joe Marks in studio to keep everybody in line, or to get everybody fired up, however you want to look at it. But So we're talking goats. We're talking greatest of all time.
This always happens with us.
Yeah, we always change the subject. It's
It
true.
does.
It's a great conversation though, because there's great arguments there. But
Jesse says Connor McDavid shits on Ovi. Sorry, boys.
Oh, I
man,
disagree.
Jess, you're all about the new guys, man. Jesse's all about the new guys.
I guess I'll say Mike
No,
McDonald.
I mean he brought up Gordie Howe and he brought up older names.
No,
Jesse
I
goes
know.
by skill. That's what he goes by, and I agree. If you go by skill, then Crosby's better than Connor McDavid.
I guess I'll put.
You want to go by skill?
I guess I'll put Mike McDonald on that list and put him ahead of Connor
Eric
McDavid.
Lindros.
Eric
Eric
Lindros.
Lindros. You want to go there? Eric Lindros. Yeah.
Yeah, Lindros.
Joe Sakic.
Joe Sakic. Who else? I'm drawing a blank.
Babe Ruth. Wayne Gretzky. Wilt Chamberlain.
Mark
Jim
Messier.
Brown. The GOAT ever in their respective sports. If you ever saw them play.
Yeah.
It's tough. Wilt was in a different era, but
Wilt-
yes, he was dominative. He was very dominant. See, that's another thing. Wilt Chamberlain dominated like Gretzky dominated hockey, but yet Wilt
Right.
Chamberlain don't get the GOAT, right? Wilt Chamberlain don't get that.
He
They give
should.
it to Jordan,
As he should. I
Or
think he should.
possibly giving it to LeBron in the future. Kobe Bryant.
When it comes down to Jordan, it's mainly rings that propels him.
6 for 6.
6 for 6.
And 6 finals MVPs, right? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you're right.
That's why I gets it, man, because you go to 6 NBA finals and you get 6 NBA. I don't even care. Let's not even talk about his league MVPs, which LeBron doesn't have. I will say that LeBron does not have that those stats that Jordan has. The average of almost 40 points a season for 5 straight seasons or something. It's disgusting. Jordan's stats are ridiculous.
I think if
And-
we had to talk about greatest of all time, I would say, like I said, like maybe LeBron has to probably win 1 or 2 more titles to say he's the greatest. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good debate.
I would say longevity, he has it, which this tends to happen in sports sometimes. But yeah, for the amount of time Jordan was in the league to go 6 for 6, 6 finals MVPs, that's Jordan's argument. That's Jordan's got. Jordan's got
Right.
the 6-6-6 going on.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't lose any NBA titles. That's the thing. He was like 6 for 6.
Forsberg was a great player. Yes.
Chuck, Chuck, is that you with the Forsberg? Get the friggin' Forsberg shit out of here. Get that out of here. Like, come on, man. With your Colorado teams.
96. Oi.
I'll let Tom you read that. Jesse's enjoying the show. I mean, because we're talking Flyers.
Absolutely.
We're talking goats.
Yeah. I guess I'll put Patrick Sharp on the list too, Jesse.
No, it's funny because people used to give Montana to go for football, and then Brady just kept sticking around and going back to back to back Super Bowls. And then eventually people were just like, well, we got to give it to him. We got to give it to him. Then you got people that are still saying Montana's the GOAT. It's
I was
crazy.
one of the guys that thought Joe Montana was the greatest of all time.
I was until 2 Super Bowls ago for Brady.
I came to my senses this year.
And that's it.
He won
See? It
7.
happens the same thing in all sports. LeBron James gets 2 more.
Yep.
LeBron James gets 2 more. What are you going to
same
say
kind of
then?
argument.
What are you going to say then?
It would be on his 3rd team. And some people say, oh, well, it's harder to do it on different teams. And some people say, well, you're leaving to go where the talent is or where you can control things
I think
more.
the league's more talented now, though.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So LeBron has a level of competition that maybe the other greats didn't have, I will say. And he dominates great players. Even at his age now, he can still go out there and dominate the guys that are tough to play against. LeBron just gets his.
Right.
To consistently average 26 points a game or 27, whatever it is, throughout his career right now, at his age, it's greatness.
Yeah.
It's consistency. Jordan doesn't have that. Jordan, near the end of his career, was embarrassing himself sometimes.
Yeah.
He had that one game where he scored 50 points, but then after that, it looked sad when he tried to dunk.
When he went to the Wizards, he was not the same Michael Jordan.
No.
That's for sure.
No, and LeBron, physique-wise, the body-wise, keeps up with it, pays a lot of money for it.
All right.
Dedication, he's got it.
So and we've had the Jordan LeBron conversation now for years and years and years, and you and I go back and forth. One thing I've never brought up, and I've always kind of kept it in my back pocket,
Right.
in case more people start coming at me that LeBron's better than Jordan. And
nobody does.
I always kept this.
I'm the only friggin' one.
I always kept this in my back pocket. Michael Jordan left basketball and went and played baseball, came back and won 3 more titles. He literally went and played another professional sport. Now, granted, it was on the minor league level. He never made it to the majors. But he left basketball, went and played baseball, was like, all right, I'm not that great at this as I was in basketball, went back and won 3 more titles.
Yes, he did.
Is LeBron leaving and going to play tight end for the Rams?
It'd be cool.
Rams or Cavaliers.
I mean, listen, it'd be cool.
I think he could do it.
I mean, he definitely could do it. He has
possibility.
I'm pretty sure any team in the league, if he said any team in the league, can I try out? They'd say, hell yeah, to LeBron James.
If for nothing else, the publicity you would get from that would be amazing.
You could sign up with the Dodgers because, like, with Mookie Betts and all that, he'll be a great player. And Bellinger,
he could line up across the field from Dallas Goedert.
I mean, it's
there you go.
But people don't understand.
Yeah,
I say if he gets 2 more. You know what I mean? If he gets 2 more, then at least he has 6. Right. But he didn't do it the way Jordan did it, and that's what people will say.
Yeah.
And that's the same way when Montana was 4 for 4 in the Super Bowl.
The guy left.
And came back. Yeah.
What does that tell you?
Come on, man.
It tells me he sucked in baseball. That's
he couldn't come back to basketball quick enough.
He just
tells me he sucked in baseball. That's the way it is.
Right.
Part of it was they so there's rumors out there that because of gambling, he was going to get suspended for the season. And that's why he left.
I have a comeback for you. He came back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Won 3 NBA titles.
Mm-hmm.
Scottie Pippen was league MVP when Jordan was playing baseball.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
No, I hear you.
So,
and then when Jordan came back, Scottie Pippen fell right back into his role.
Right back into his role. But the thing is they still were surviving.
So no, Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen's a great basketball player.
Yeah.
Great basketball player. And obviously, like you said, he wasn't there. So that's a great point. That's a great point.
It was weird watching that. You never see that.
Somebody wrote Brian Bones checking in. Wrote fuck Forsberg.
Wow.
All right.
Oh, I like this. I love it.
I like the tone. I mean, I haven't even gotten into one question to start our show yet.
I like Peter.
Wait, one
Forsberg.
question I got.
What the fuck's his problem with Forsberg? What the hell's his problem with Forsberg? What did Forsberg score a hat trick on your birthday or something? Oh fuck.
That's great.
I guess he was past his prime when we got him.
Did he steal your wife out of the bar or something? I don't know.
Rings are our teamwork and supporting. This is Frank checking in again. Rings are teamwork and a supporting cast like the 83 Sixers had. The 66 and 67 Sixers were the greatest team ever. I've heard different stories, like as far as Sixers go, that the 83 Sixers were a great team. Obviously, I've heard about the Sixers teams.
Frank's an older guy.
I'm not sure.
How old is Frank?
But Frank definitely has some knowledge that we don't. Yeah, just from being around.
We're the greatest team ever. I mean, he's probably correct on that as far as what that team did.
I mean, if
I heard about what that team did, I heard
too.
how dominating that team was. That team was destroying every team they played.
Yeah, look, I love the text board today. Everybody's blowing it up. I love this.
What do we got now?
So Chris checks in, Chris Foss checks in on Facebook, goes Ruth, Brady, Gretzky, Russell.
My boy Chris Foss.
So he goes Russell. Russell has 11 rings. Kind of hard to argue with him there.
Yeah.
If it's the rings talk.
And he coached as a player. He was a coach. He coached as a player.
If it's the rings talk, Bill Russell's probably the best.
He's the GOAT of everybody. Ever.
Yeah.
But if you go stats and all that.
Well, because then you'll get, look at the era that Russell played in and the size player, with the exception of Chamberlain, that he went against. Those Boston Celtics, the Celtic teams that Russell was on. I mean, he's going against guys that are a foot smaller than him. 6, 8, 10 inches smaller than him every single game.
It was a different league too, so yeah.
I think Babe Ruth definitely gets it because Babe Ruth just changed baseball.
Babe Ruth would go out, tie a load on the night before, Show up.
Yeah.
Show up to you watch the Babe. I don't know if you watched the Babe Ruth movie or anything like that.
I watched.
Show up to
plenty
the
of them.
games hungover and hit two dingers.
The one with John Goodman,
and he was
right?
a great guy.
Yeah.
And he was a great guy. He was a great guy, Babe Ruth. When you call a home run.
It's crazy.
When you call a home run like that,
Yeah.
What's the pitcher thinking?
It's
Anthony checks in just about every week on Facebook, and he checks in this.
he called a shot.
He checks in this week. And look, I realize we're bouncing around. It's the ADHD show today, which, hey, I take medicine for ADHD, and I forgot to grab mine walking out the door this morning. So we're bouncing all over the place.
Yeah, but when you're on our network a lot, you're going to hear everything that we're probably going to talk about anyway. So it ain't bad that we're doing this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No.
And we don't have like.
So Anthony says,
Joey.
and I agree with Anthony's to a degree. I agree with the way he's thinking. In the 70s and 80s, LeBron would cry on his mommy's shoulder, and the same with KD. I don't disagree with that because of the way fouls were called. That's the biggest problem with the GOAT conversations.
Yeah. Is
the era in which the particular person played in, whether it's the 50s or 60s, like a Bill Russell and a Will Chamberlain. Or the 70s and 80s with like a Dr. J, the 80s and 90s with a Jordan.
I think that's totally incorrect, man.
No, I don't. I honestly think. Look at how LeBron cries today.
I know that crying stuff's always going to happen in basketball.
Bill Lambier.
But what I'm saying is, when he's saying that, LeBron back in that time with his physique that he's got,
right.
With that power that he's got,
that's fine.
With the heights that they had, that LeBron has, with what LeBron would dominate. His stats would be even better.
With what LeBron cries about today, he would get destroyed.
He would adapt
30 years ago.
Yeah, but he would adapt it. That's the thing. You can't say that.
That's why the GOAT conversation is a really hard one to have, because you literally can't take LeBron and drop him back into the 80s.
You can't put us back in the 80s and the 70s and have a popular podcast, right?
I understand.
See what I'm saying? You just can't do that.
But that's why the GOAT talk is tough, because you have different generations. Frank's probably older than us, and checking in, and he has a lot of knowledge on things that were before our time. So I'm going to say Jordan. You would say LeBron. Frank could say Bill Russell or Will.
If you were to get super teams against one another, though.
I know, dude. It's such a great conversation to have.
It's beautiful. I mean, if it could ever happen, it would be great. You know what I mean? But you can't. And that's the beautiful thing about it. It's history.
Yeah.
And that's why we watch sports, because of that. The 80s and the 70s eras, we can't really go that far back, like when he was bringing up the 66, 67 Sixers, but we have heard of it.
Yeah, but my dad could talk about
your dad could. We could probably do research and talk about that team on the show one time. And this we weren't even planning on talking about.
Nope.
It's a beautiful thing. It always happens with us.
It does. I write out show prep. The last.
Why isn't Larry Bird in the conversation? Because he's just not.
Because he's just not. That's a great answer. Exactly. That's a great answer.
He wasn't invited. He didn't fit the criteria to get through that front door.
That's the thing.
The back door, or the side door, or the basement.
Maybe the side door.
The side door. He gets to the side door.
No,
I love Larry Bird. Don't get me wrong.
He's his stats are off the charts too, but. When it comes to GOAT talk, guys like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, they're further down on the list. We're talking about the top of the list right now, and they're just not there.
I love when people try to throw names in there. I appreciate him doing that. And Larry Bird was amazing.
Yeah.
He's just not the guys that we're talking about.
Yeah, not GOAT. I mean, I wouldn't say GOAT material, but yeah, you're right.
I mean, look at Curry now. Curry with the threes. He's Mr. Three-pointer. And we used to always think about Larry Bird as the great three-point shooter.
Right.
Well, he doesn't have that no more.
Okay.
He just got Larry Bird.
So now it's getting real interesting. So I agree with I'm assuming this is you, Chuck, Facebook user.
I agree.
Where it says he thinks it's a combination of rings and stats. I'm going to take it one step further. It's a combination of rings, stats, and the era in which you played.
Right.
So now you have at least three variables that make things not so black and white, not so easy to say, hey, Michael Jordan was the greatest ever. Yeah, but he played in the 80s and 90s for the most part.
And he didn't have a three-pointer like they do these days. And this NBA is different than what Jordan played in. I'm sorry, but if Jordan did play, he would have adapted. And I think because of the way the NBA is now, Jordan would probably be one of the best 3-point shooters. That's just the way it is. Jordan would have had to work on his game, correct?
Yeah,
it would have had to happen to where he was watching Curry drain threes from midcourt, and he'd have been like, yo.
Jordan had a 3.
He didn't use it a lot. What's his percent? It's low, Tom. It's pretty low. It's not that good. I've seen it. I've looked it up. But what I'm saying is he's not
I find that hard to believe.
He's not known
You're
as
not a
three-point
looker
shooter.
upper.
I bet you any amount of money he's not above 33% as a career 3-point shooter. I bet you.
I don't even think Jordan did a lot of three. Made a lot of three.
Go ahead, fact check me. Go ahead.
I got to fact
Why
check.
not? It's fun.
Look, I would be doing the man who sits there a disservice if I did not fact check you right now. So Jordan,
he only fact checks me though when he feels like it.
He only fact checks.
Sometimes when I talk, he's
wrong.
like, you know what? Will's right. I'm not fact checking.
I don't. Jordan's career shooting percentage.
3-point. 3-point.
3-point percentage. All right. So let's look it up. It's a .327. So yeah. So you're right. It's it's not.
But it's not bad. It's not bad. I agree with you there. It's not bad.
It's not,
and it would be better if he was in this era. It would be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He would have had to work on his game. Man.
He
Look at
literally-
Kobe. Kobe did it.
Jordan had to change his physique to deal with those the Pistons of the '90s. He had to work out, bulk up. He had to change his physique. So that goes to your point with a LeBron could drop in there and just bulldoze him out of the way.
Jordan paved the way for LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. Those are his two. What do you say? Proteges,
right?
Whatever.
I mean, me personally, Kobe for me is ahead of LeBron by quite a substantial margin as of right now.
In the little amount of time,
I get that.
Yeah, it's stats wise, he's not.
But
He's not
yeah,
there.
and it's so they played in the same era, so you have the error.
Right.
The rings, Kobe's got them, and the stats
By one.
The stats, yeah, by one, and so
Finals appearances, LeBron.
Oh yeah, definitely LeBron.
Yeah.
LeBron has more finals appearances than Jordan.
Well, Nick Wright did this on the show because Nick Wright and me are very similar. He believes that LeBron's the GOAT now, but I believe LeBron will be the GOAT. But when he showed stats up on the screen, he showed side by side, and he was like, "What two players are these?" And the two players was Kobe Bryant and LeBron James, and everybody agreed that LeBron James' stats were better.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's crazy. Kobe had him in points per game. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So
I'll
if you're
just
gonna define by pure score, Kobe's got him.
Right.
But if you're gonna go by all around player, LeBron's got him.
Yeah.
You have to. But a pure score in the NBA can dominate a game. Nobody can stop him. Like, look,
James
the Sixers let Bradley Beal drop 60 on them, man. That dude was on fire. In NBA, you could catch fire, but when you're consistent, like Kobe Bryant was, that's scary. What would you rather have? If I had to draft, I'm sorry, LeBron, but I would draft Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I would draft Kobe too.
Would you draft Kobe over Jordan? No, we know this. So the conversation goes a long way when you talk about basketball GOATs. But when you go hockey, I think Gretzky is dominating number one.
Right.
Like he's sitting at his own.
Hands down, number one.
He's on his own Mount Rushmore. It's just him. It's just his face smiling. That's it. Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
So the Mount Rushmore talks.
And baseball's definitely Babe Ruth. I would say baseball's Babe Ruth.
Hold on. Hold that thought.
Maybe even Hank Aaron.
Hold
I don't
that.
know.
No.
Maybe Hank Aaron.
Hold that thought, because I seen where we at here.
This text board's going nuts, man.
I love the text board today.
I think this is probably the.
So Frank checked in and he had something here. I'm scrolling through the text board to find it here, Frank.
The
Give me
GOAT
one
show.
second.
How does this happen? We're just
The
nuts.
GOAT show. It's the GOAT show. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in.
Welcome to the GOAT show.
So Frank was saying something that Yogi Berra had 11 championships.
Yeah, that's.
Wow. And then do they call him their GOAT? I just want to
So
know their fan
Yogi
base.
had 11 playing and 2 managing. So that's 13. He said, please answer who can, don't get me, who can top that in any of the big 4 professional sports. I don't know if anybody could top that. When you're going just rings, dude's got 13. 11 as a player and 2 as a coach. That might be your all-timer. How many rings does Gretzky have?
3.
4. Is it 4? I think it's 4.
How many did he win with Edmonton? That's all you need to know.
I think it was 4.
He won one with the Kings. No, he never did.
No, he
won
never did.
4
He
with
went to the
Edmonton.
finals with the Kings, but he never won it.
You know what's messed up? I've had that conversation so many times about how many rings
4, James,
Gretzky
you're right.
has, and I always forget.
4.
4.
Oh, okay.
And look at his seasons. Has anybody ever had a season close to Gretzky's best season? That'll shut all the GOAT talk up in hockey. It will.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's just,
it'll just shut it up.
it just shut it up.
Like
Yeah,
you want to let's go now. They can always say, "Oh well, season. What about consistency?" Well, consistently, the guy had how many seasons straight where he was over 100 assists? No one's done that.
right.
Consistency of scoring over 60 goals a season. No one's done that. 4 Stanley Cups.
So I was incorrect
It's
when I was
insane.
talking about Ovechkin averaging 35 goals a season. The past 3 seasons. Now this came out November 18th, 2020. So it said
So
for
he's getting closer. I thought he was.
It said for the past 3 now the number that I gave you earlier was accurate.
yeah, but
He
you were
did
just off the
49,
years.
51, and 48 goals in 17, 18, and 19, or 18, 19, and 20. So
That's all he'll get.
if he continues to average that over the next 4 seasons, like this article says here, he'll shatter it.
And if he gets, here's my thing.
He'll
What if-
shatter his
what if-
goals.
But now, what if he gets more Stanley Cup victories?
That's going to be tough. He only has 1. Gretzky has 4.
Exactly.
That's
So
the
if
thing.
he
gotta
gets
get
more
the
goals
work
and
in.
more cup victories, then maybe you're talking Ovi.
and that's the thing too is that like
As a
like,
close
I guess
second.
we can
Tom,
talk about
as
the
a
greatest of
close
all time
second.
of this era, like championship wise. I guess I have to go with Crosby, but at the same time, Ovechkin has the cake for the greatest of all time in scoring.
I think
I don't even think their own fan base considers Yogi the GOAT anyway, right?
I would say Hank Aaron, but then again, I don't know.
I mean,
It's a
if you want
it's
to
a
straight
toss-up.
go rings or whatever, that's not saying what the player was, because we did say earlier teams.
Sure.
So if Dan Marino's one of the all-time greats, and he's never won, but he's talked
Yeah.
about.
Oh man.
well, I
Gotten
was
into that argument with Pat Stecker.
No, but
many
the thing
times
is
about Marino.
if you just went by
Love
rings
you,
or
Pat.
whatever, then Russell is the best NBA player. He's the GOAT. He's the symbol, not West. Make Bill Russell the symbol. Why not? Right?
right.
You
There was
can't.
talks about making Kobe the symbol. I heard.
Which Stephen A. Smith had a good point. It should be Jordan. You know what? Because no offense, Kobe, but you died in a. That's the only reason why we're going to give it to you. What if you were still around, Kobe? Would we give it to you? No.
No.
Okay, thank you.
No, that's a
Move
good point.
on. Give it to Jordan if you're going to give it to anybody. I think West doesn't. West shouldn't be that logo no more. Put it that way.
There you go.
You got to change that. You have to.
Here's checking in, and this is a great check in on the text board here. Again, I think it's Chuck. It says if you go eras, then there is never going to be one true GOAT. If you think about all the things that you go through in all of these different eras, and you go to baseball and the steroid era, that puts an asterisk next to any and everyone whose name was mentioned in those, with your Sosas, your Maguires, your Bonds.
I was entertaining as hell too.
It was one of the greatest
Baseball was dominating.
times of my
the
life
only time it
watching
ever did.
baseball.
It's the only time it ever did dominate, man. It was like over the NFL that year.
I remember
baseball was dominating.
like the game where Maguire broke it. I believe they were playing the Cubs, weren't they? And
Yeah, I think it was.
I watched the game. It was
watching him and Sammy
amazing.
Sosa go at it. You want to talk about like that forged your love for sports? It's stuff like that forges your love for sports.
Well, did you guys see the 30 for 30? What they did with Sosa and McGuire? I was like saying, "Holy crap!"
Yo, let's give Frank's
That's
Facebook.
a lot of.
Let's give Frank's Facebook group a shout out. He's got over
good.
he's got over 50,000 members in his Facebook
Oh, definitely.
Philly sports group, Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, etc. Frank, if I'm not in that group, I will be after today. I appreciate everything that you're bringing to the table today, and everybody on the text board. Chucky checking in, Jesse
That's
checking
good,
in.
man. He's got 50,000 members. That means he likes our show.
That's a hell of a.
I mean,
That's pretty damn.
I don't know what
amazing.
his 50,000
That's pretty
members have to
amazing.
do with our show, but sure.
Yeah, it does, because he's good at what he does,
No, the points that Frank was making
Yeah.
here are great.
and he must like our show because he's
Mike
He's on it.
Mike
Listen.
Bauer checks in on Facebook, says the Sosa McGuire battle saved baseball.
Yeah.
Followers were down big time. Absolutely.
Oh, he's right. He's absolutely right.
And that, when it came to home runs, you were talking about the GOAT of home runs at that time.
We used to play home run derby because of that. Every kid did it.
Yeah, man.
Whether it was with a tennis ball and a wiffle ball bat, or where you were actually out on the field, you were doing something that involved baseball. Baseball took over when those guys were hitting all those home runs, man.
I want to say thanks to everyone who's checking in on the text board. Sometimes I'd like to just sit down here and do a show going off of what you folks are saying.
Yeah,
because it's great.
It works.
Look, we're nobody. You know, we're just like you guys. We're nobody special. We're fans first. We have a forum to be able to talk and maybe come into your homes on a Saturday morning. And we greatly appreciate that. But this is what it's all about: interacting with folks, talking sports. Whether you're standing in line for lunch meat, you're rolling through the tolls, coming back from Jersey, and somebody sees you with a Flyers jersey on, and you talk Flyers. Whatever it is, this is what it's all about. You all right, Guns? You look like
I just heard the door. Should I help out the building? Yeah, I will.
Yeah, go ahead. The folks out there will miss your face for the 30 seconds that you're all. I think you're all right. I think you're all right.
That's weird.
Willie Guns. Oh, here we go. Oh, look, I'm gonna.
I mean, this could be the show, man. I mean, it's just It's like
Chucky,
975 to Fanatic when people call in. We just have the text board.
Here we go. Backstabbers Podcast is in the building, so he could touch on this. I believe it's Chuck. Chuck Wolf text in, and I'll wait for it to come up. Ric Flair has 16 titles with John Cena. GOATs? ?
I'm sorry, but the GOAT's The Rock, man. I don't care. The GOAT's The Rock. I talk to wrestlers all the time, and they laugh. And I'm like, see, no one ever – every wrestler I've asked so far, their favorites were Mr. Perfect, Triple H, all those. No one
Steve
ever says
Austin.
The Rock. I'm the only one that says The Rock.
Stone Cold Meat, sorry.
But Chucky's got a point there, though, man. Ric Flair did definitely.
Frank, Big Brother checks in. Edge of Philly checks in.
What's the name?
We got it's just coming up so fast, and I get distracted. So first off, Frank, what's the name of your group? Post it, man. We'll share it, and we'll definitely want some photos.
Oh yeah, get it in.
Want
there.
everybody to join.
I'm joining.
Big Brother over at EOP Sports checks in and asks, "What's the name of the group?" I know we're a sports talk show. I know Will has his own wrestling show, but whatever. Facebook user again, which I believe is Chuck Wolf, checks in. Austin is the GOAT. Austin's my GOAT.
I just said that.
I put him ahead of The Rock.
As far as
Oh!
it's crazy, man. That talk's nuts if you're going to go there, because him and The Rock changed wrestling together.
Yep,
They made the Attitude Era.
The Attitude Era.
Austin has a podcast and some show, and The Rock has everything.
Have you listened to
He will be president of the United States one day.
Have you listened to Austin's show?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Dude, his interview with The Undertaker. Look, I'm getting off of sports.
That's my goal. That's my goal.
That's what I want for you. That's what I want for you.
I'll bring you with me, too. I'll bring everybody with me.
Nice.
If I could sit down and talk to Stone Cold, we're bringing the beer.
Yeah, and tequila.
George the Animal Steel.
All right. So we've literally spent almost an hour talking about the GOATs. I don't see a reason to change the topic of conversation for today. I don't see a reason to. So
just have fun. Keep the text board going.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Look,
this is fun.
So quick breakdown. The Phillies are blowing the cover off the ball.
15-0 was it?
15-0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Eagles have maybe the most important draft in the team's history coming up.
Yep.
The 76ers are literally playing lights out. And your Philadelphia Flyers coming back against Pittsburgh like that. There's something that I do want to get into. It's the captain talk. It's with Claude Giroux. I'll jump back into the GOATs. We could talk about the GOATs. I draped this Claude Giroux jersey over Joey's chair to how do I want to say it? Not to prove a point. How do I want to word it?
I don't think I got it.
Giroux had on this show, Giroux hasn't gotten much love. Okay? Because we feel like a captain needs to show more out there than he shows. So then Claude Giroux has a 3-point night against Pittsburgh. Scores a game winner, I believe.
He won that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Right. So let me ask you a question. When this happened, and now I'm not trying to take away from anything he did, but in our group text, Al did come at Joey, and I knew it was coming. So I'm going to stand up a little bit for Joe Marks here. When Claude Giroux scored that goal, to win the game, 3 points, 2 goals, he was huge. When he did that, did you think to yourself, man, that's Claude Giroux being Claude Giroux, or did you think to yourself, wow, that's a bonus?
I said that's what he was capable of in my mind.
That's what he was capable of.
I was very, very surprised at.
Right. You were surprised from your captain. If you're surprised that he's scoring goals and winning games, is he really playing up to his full potential consistently? If you're surprised, and listen, other people out there, you can lie to yourself if you want, but you did not say to yourself, "There's Claude Giroux being Claude Giroux again," because you can't. You cannot.
But
I think
to be down 3-0. Sorry, James.
No, you're good.
You could go right after that. To be down 3-0, and the rest of your team just kept playing, hitting posts. TK was trying so hard, man. That was a tough game. And I was like, damn it. It's just, I said to Rob, when me and Rob were watching, I'm like, the puck's going to go in.
Right.
You keep beating this guy. That goalie ain't shit. That's pure. That's what I was saying to Rob. And Rob was like, you think they can come back well? I said, no. I said, but that goalie ain't shit. They should be able to.
What?
Yeah.
And Giroux said it in the interview. Giroux said, we knew that we could score. We knew.
Right. They knew they were getting.
He did it.
Yeah.
And the way he did it was what the best part of the team does. Not really the captain, I won't say. Because what the captain does is what Couturier does. And for the rest of the game, shuts down Pittsburgh's best scores.
Right.
I don't even need to get into the names. You know what I mean? You don't even really need to. Couturier on that ice is a captain. He don't need a friggin' C. He don't need an A. He don't need anything. He's Couturier. He's out there and he dominates. You're not getting shit. You might as well switch your lines up to beat the Flyers. Don't let Couturier be going up against your best line because you're in deep shit. You ain't getting those goals you normally get. Giroux and Couturier, if they could get on the same friggin' page, and when you get into the playoffs,
right,
and you stack the first 2 lines, I better see them 2 somehow playing together.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just like if they stay at a minimum and play in the playoffs like this, they might be a dominant team come playoff time if this continues.
And you know what? I really give Elliott credit, man.
Yeah, Elliott's stepping up.
Dude, can you imagine being a goalie in the NHL, any goalie, and you give up 3 goals that quickly? What was it, 4 minutes, was it? 3 goals in 4 minutes?
I think it was like 3 minutes.
It's whatever.
Well, yeah.
You could say 10 minutes and it sounds bad.
Yeah.
And then they don't score.
It was to me. It was.
They were trying. Elliott was saving them, man. Elliott, you can't see. It was, dude, it was a really good fucking game to watch.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is that
kept you on your seat.
The other thing, too, reminded me of when AV called that timeout. It was like, this is like the Boston series all over again.
Well, they thought that they were pulling the goalie. They thought that they were going to bring in
My
Hart.
dad thought they were going to pull.
And I was like, that's fucking embarrassing. You can't do that. And then
they called a timeout, just said, calm down. He looked at the scoreboard, and it reminded me so much of Lavio. It's just, we only need one goal.
And what's funny is I said that. I did say that to Rob. I said, all they got to do, Rob, is get 1 goal a period, and you can at least get an overtime.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said, I'm cool with 3-1 at the end of this period, Rob.
Right.
Rob's like, really? I said, yeah. Then I'm cool with 3-2.
Right.
Even 4-2. I'll go 4-2 going into the third after I was down 3-0. What did they do? They won the whole damn game.
Yep.
The whole damn.
Because of Claude Giroux.
Show.
And TK was on fire with just, dude, he could have had a hat trick easily in the first period. Yeah. So I hope that continues. I hope he just gets that shot down to where he's consistently not hitting the damn post. And it's weird.
Wide.
Like
So
hitting the post ain't that bad.
No, if
Frank's-
you're shooting it wide, it's different. you
Frank's
know? At least you're hitting the post.
Facebook group is Philly fans of spring training. And this is a cool little tidbit here. Frank, he lives on Clearwater Beach 7 months a year. And if you've ever heard of the human trumpet, that is me, he says. I worked for the Phillies for 10 years doing sports memorabilia and greeting the fans entering the stadium here in Clearwater. That's awesome.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Awesome.
That's beautiful.
You were
Frank.
living the dream, Frank Rocco.
I like you. I like you, Frank Rocco.
You're a good guy, man.
Like you. But you're crazy.
I like you, man.
No, that's
Crazy.
awesome.
Dude,
It's
you're
like-
gonna fucking dart
Dude,
your neck.
think about that. Think about living down in Clearwater 7 months a year, working for the Phils. You're greeting fans as they come into the stadium. That's the dream right there, dude. That's
Yeah,
the
it's
dream
like,
right there.
it's
Good
it's
for
like-
you, Frank. Good
Yeah,
for you.
Good for you, man.
That's a great dream.
So hold on. Mike Bauer checks in here. Says no team in history has fallen behind 3-0 that early, then go on and score 4 and shut the team out, shut the team down and get the win. It was an impressive win all around. And listen, I don't hate.
What's weird is I was wondering that
I don't hate Claude Giroux.
if any team did that.
I just want to throw that out there. I do not hate Claude Giroux.
Oh no, he's a phenomenal hockey
He's a
player.
great
He's
player.
one of the
I
best in the league.
have the guy's jersey. I don't hate him.
Yeah.
I do too.
I don't have.
I
it 'cause I'm a
literally
mush.
looked up the definition of captain, as it pertains to sports, and I can't say that Claude Giroux isn't doing the things out there that fall under the definition of captain. I'm not in the locker room and I'm not there, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm not here to badmouth Claude Giroux. He had a phenomenal game the other night against Pittsburgh. Let's hope he does it again this afternoon. That's another huge game. I like when I think. I don't want to say look down on a player or think bad of a player, but if I have an opinion about a player that they're not playing up to their potential or things like that, that doesn't mean that I don't like them. I just like to stir the pot sometimes, see what other people are thinking, play devil's advocate, however you want to word it. And our show, we don't hold punches, we don't hold back. Two of our guys aren't here, that Rob and Joe, but they're just like the three that are sitting here. They'll call you out on the carpet and they'll hold you accountable. And that's all we're trying to do with Giroux as captain. And the cool thing about opinion-based sports talk is just that. You're not wrong, I'm not wrong, you're not wrong when it comes to opinions.
Yeah. No, and all the other shows that are out there do the same as we do.
That's just our opinions. 3 goals in 3 minutes and 27 seconds it was, Will.
Whoa.
What was it?
3 minutes.
Those 3 goals, 3 minutes and 27 seconds.
Wow.
And a half.
So we were both right. You said 4. I said 3 minutes.
No, I said 3
27.
minutes. You said 4, I think.
Did I say 4?
I think you said 4.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we were close.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Dude, this is
We're all
just
on the same page.
I mean, do you think these Flyers can they're 3 games out of first. Can they close that gap over the next 4 days?
Yeah, because they played less. So there you go. That's over.
Yeah, they got a
They played
back-to-back
less.
tonight.
I mean,
and
unless they
today.
lose. I mean, can you sweep the Penguins? I mean, it's not like they're.
Well, you could take 2 out of 3.
It's
You're
not like
gonna
they're a
sweep.
shit team.
I mean, you're playing the Capitals twice in less than a week.
I'm not afraid of the Capitals.
and they're ahead of you in the
I'm not
standings, is
afraid.
what
We
I'm
always
saying.
play the Capitals
Right.
well, man. I don't know how we do it.
We
And
play
we
to our
always play
potential
them
with
well. We always play them well.
Yeah.
You know, another player that doesn't get much credit because he's plays with Ovechkin was Backstrom.
Yeah.
Backstrom was a hell of a friggin' player, man.
He still
You
is.
know, and that goes back. Well, I don't think he's
right.
what he was, but
Yeah. Backstrom,
Ovi needed him. Yeah,
Yeah, it was like Backstrom. I can remember that team. That was fun to
Mike
watch.
Green,
Mike Green, John Carlson, Tom
Yeah.
Wilson.
hell of a damn thing. Other groups, official Philadelphia Eagles group, Philadelphia Eagles fans of training camp, Philadelphia Phillies group, NHL Flyers group, Flyers tickets, buying and selling, Philadelphia Eagles tickets, buying and selling, Phillies tickets, buying and selling, etc.
That's
awesome.
I will be a member of every one of those groups, Frank.
yeah.
I'm all in, brother. I'd love to hear some stories too, man, from down in. Maybe we'll get Frank on one of these days, and everybody
Yeah.
checking in on the text board, man.
It's busy. It's
a busy-
We didn't
busy
expect. I
today.
didn't expect that at all.
It's wonderful.
Me either.
We didn't even get into Eagles.
Nope.
We didn't get
And
into
you know what?
and you don't
Sometimes
need
that's
to.
okay, dude.
We could talk Eagles next week.
Listen, so 76ers. I want
We could talk about Sixers.
I want to bounce back over to the Sixers. I kind of want to close out the show with these guys since I was going to open the show with them. Started with the song and everything, and just
love, man.
Yeah, it doesn't say clap your hands for the GOAT.
So
I'm just teasing, Tom.
no, you're good. You're good. Freddie Burns says, "Screw the Eagles." Fred, I hear you, brother. Absolutely. The 76ers right now are the talk of the town, and they should be. They deserve to be. Is anybody making any trades? Are you messing with this team right now?
I think
Fred, are you messing with this team right now?
I think to win the whole thing, man. I think they could do it with this team.
I think so too. With this team as currently constructed.
But it's risky.
They just need one more
risky,
piece, and I
though.
think they're good.
What piece?
I think they need to get another guard, maybe. I think probably, like I said in the beginning, like Danny Green probably is like on the verge of like towards the end. I mean,
Of what, his career? You mean,
I think his
or-
career.
okay.
So I think maybe you probably get another piece with Seth Curry. I think you'll be all right, but I think just like another piece away. But if they can find a way to get no pieces and they still find a way to win the finals, I'm all for it.
I think you're on pace to be the best team in the East. So why would you want to make a trade?
Yeah, that's true.
Why?
I mean,
Why would I make a trade? I give him,
what person are you gonna
Embiid seems to like the team that he's playing around. Big Ben's starting to score more. His defense is phenomenal. Embiid is defending every single center,
Right.
and that comes at him.
It's not.
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
look at the
and-
numbers he put up on the defensive player of the year in Gobert. It's just insane.
And if you have
And
a
you know-
healthy Embiid, he's going to be dominant. In the
Yeah,
playoffs.
well, if you just watch like how he plays, just watch him.
Joey-
and that's what the greats do. You watch the greats play when you're watching that court. When you're watching a Sixers game, Tom, right? Don't you look at Embiid when he don't have the ball? Are you watching him ever?
not necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay, so go on defense. Do you
Right.
watch him on defense?
Oh,
when
yeah.
when he switches, when he makes switches, he stays in that lane. He leaves the key.
Right.
He don't ever get called for 3 seconds. That dude, his mindset is you are not scoring. And I think late in games when teams used to kill us with that drive, always the guy drives, lays up, and one. No, when Embiid's there, you ain't driving, you ain't laying it up, you ain't doing anything.
You have to draw the
You
foul.
need to take a three. No, you need to take a three. You need to take an ugly jump shot.
Right.
And when that's why he is probably going to get Defensive Player of the Year and League MVP.
Right.
And nobody can argue that.
Absolutely.
Need bench pieces. I mean, we always say that. It's JJ Redick drained a shit ton of threes when he was here.
Someone else.
You know what I mean?
What was it? Bellinelli too?
Marco Bellinelli.
Bellinelli, is he even in the NBA anymore? Is he still
Who
in
wants
there?
CV if
I
I
don't
don't
know.
I don't know, man.
Back up, stretch 4. Joe Marks checks in.
Joey Marks.
Yo, Marks, how's Tobias Harris doing?
They are the best team in the NBA because they
I'm
beat the
done.
best team in Utah. Joey, that's another thing that Joey said.
Well, they also beat the Lakers.
Toby,
They're beating teams. I mean, but they lose. Some of their losses are like,
I'll say something.
You scratch your head.
I'll say something
Yeah.
about Tobias Harris too. Will he should be in the All-Star game? I mean, if you had to add like maybe 2 or 3 pieces in the All-Star game, Tobias has to be in it for sure.
but you already have. I mean, so there, you're pretty much saying the Sixers should have 3 NBA All Stars.
Yeah, dude.
I agree to disagree because as much as I love Harris and everything, I just think that you can't send 3 players
Right.
from the same team.
Yeah, this is not like the big 3 with Bosh, Wade, and LeBron. I got you.
I'm gonna do my best impersonation of what Joey put on the text board now. Okay, just let me do this. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo!
Perfect. Perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Wrestling
Spot
talk,
on.
sports talk, it's all here on the Pattison Ave
You
Phanatics Show.
know it, man. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. on the Edge of Philly
9
Sports
a.m.
Network.
Edge of Philly Sports Network.
You know,
So-
difference.
Edge of Philly's checking in on the text board saying, "Didn't Utah beat them?" Yeah, it was earlier in the year, right? The Utah beat them.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
It's a "what have you done for me now" kind of world and society that we live in.
Didn't Utah beat them? That doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter.
Team chemistry.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Team chemistry's now up. The team's morale.
Well, if
Embiid scoring 40 and 19 more than he did back when he played Utah.
If you ask Utah, it's the ref's fault. That's another question. How do you feel about players blaming refs? Does it bother you?
It's been going on for years.
For years,
It's going to be going on. And I think that if I was an athlete, I'd do the same damn thing.
I know for a friggin' fact, playing sports with you growing up all our lives, that you would complain about the refs.
That's me.
I can imagine when you were playing hockey or bitching at the refs. What was that?
TK knew how to push my friggin' buttons in sports too, man.
I still do.
Yeah, that's why I have a bad back, man. And consistently trying to out-rebound you, out-catch how Mary catches, tackle you. I don't even want to get into it, man. I don't even want to get into it.
I wouldn't want to tackle me.
You are the reason.
I wouldn't want to. I want to. I get that told a lot. It's usually not for good things. You are the reason. Freddie Burns says all three should be in. They are all the 1 seed. Nets are 2 seed. Why they get 3?
Because then 3 names. They got them because of their names, man. That's the way it is.
Right?
I would say they're.
I absolutely think all 3 should be in.
Yeah, I agree.
It's all right. So you could do that with. So you're saying the NBA All-Star Game is just one team against another that has a dominant side from the best team in the East and the best team in the West? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
you can't.
Yeah.
So what's it? The Nets and the Sixers against the Lakers and Utah? I don't know. I don't even know how it goes.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. My
Will would have gotten thrown out of the game during pregame.
Will, you would have pulled the trotter when the Eagles-Falcons game. You would have pulled the trotter. You would have started some stuff and gotten tossed out of the game before.
Joey, I do it all during the game. You know that.
Joey
knows I do it all during the game.
I agree with Joey.
Before the game,
you got booted.
TK knows before the game, I'm doing push-ups. I'm running routes,
wiping oil all over himself to make himself glisten for the people in the stands.
Talking in the mirror,
practicing his raising his eyebrow and his faces that he makes.
Yeah, going over my interview that I'm going to do after the game. I mean, I would be a vet. Like I wouldn't give a shit what my agent said. I would be a loudmouth if I were in.
If you ever made it to some level where you would be interviewed, I would get press credentials. I would find a way to get press credentials, and I would come in and shred you. I would shred you, or I'd try my best to shred you. You make it hard for me. Yeah. Sometimes you make it easy, and sometimes you make it hard. But I would definitely love to do that.
But that's just that's my plan.
Only guy to get a T before jump ball.
True.
Oh man,
that's true.
Now it's the roast of
why? But why? Why am I getting the T, Chuck? That's definitely Chuck.
Yeah.
Why am I getting the T?
Why not? If anybody deserves a technical, it's you.
Spotted him drinking a beer on the court.
What do you got? What do you got there, Guns?
Got some Kenwood, man.
Some Kenwood, local beer distributor. Hold that up. Let him get a little. There you go. Beautiful. Get some for the camera. We're on a delay, so you gotta hold it up there for a minute. There you go, Al. Threw a little Kenwood out there for you, brother. There you go, Guns.
There
good.
You go.
You asked why. Facebook user checks
God, Chuck.
Because you can't shut up. That is accurate. Highly accurate.
You know what, Chuck? You're right, man. And I can't argue with a wrestler. I just can't. They're too good. They're just too damn good wrestlers.
All right. So text board, I'm leaning on you guys. Will and James, I'm leaning on you guys as well. I have one more question. We're going to close the show out with this question.
Okay.
Good.
Better 76er. Allen Iverson, Joel Embiid.
Oh, shit.
Iverson has more, obviously, of.
Did you just come up with this, or is this your plan?
No, I wrote this.
This is tough.
I never.
This is a tough question.
No, sometimes I come off.
Very good question.
You do come off your top of the head sometimes.
So I know Iverson's body of work is bigger than Embiid's. So it's a 2-part question. Better Sixer right now, Iverson or Embiid?
You can let James go first.
Fine. I would say Iverson right now. When it's all said and done, JoJo might be the best Sixer of all time. James?
I would say, man, that's a tough one. This is a good question, too. I would say, I never seen Embiid, any center, his, his strength and also his like his lack of not a lack, but the lack of play that he has. But the one thing I really love about Embiid is
Talk about his health.
his health is the lack has been the problem. That's been the problem. But when he's healthy, he's a dominant player. And I think if I have to say, I mean, look, I grew up watching Iverson too. I got to go with Embiid.
Okay. James says Embiid. Freddie Burns says, ha ha ha, Kenwood's at 10 a.m. St. Patty's came early. Willie, all right, Guns. We got the box up there. I think you're good now.
Let's go. How's it look? There you go.
Got our first spot. Got our first sponsorships.
Right.
There you go.
So it looks like Facebook user is probably Chuck. Chuck, you need to figure out how to attach your name to this. I think there's a little thing you click that it says allow.
No. You know what? That's his new name.
Chucky Facebook user?
Call of Duty with him. I'm going to say Facebook user.
You don't play Call of Duty no
Facebook
more.
user. He's down. No, Tom, I need a new monitor.
You don't play
and I need a new controller, and I need privacy, which I don't have any of them.
Wow. Okay, so Will needs a lot. So like I said, you're never playing Call of Duty again. But
never say never.
I think Iverson, if everything stopped right now, but going down the line, man, I could see Embiid doing great things. Well, and I don't see him going anywhere.
Just change this up. You have a draft, and Iverson, you know what you're going to get out of him for what he did his whole career,
Right.
and you're going to know what you're going to get out of Embiid. Which player are you drafting? I'm drafting Embiid. I love AI. I love him.
Time. Embiid.
I love
a big man, 7'2", built like a brick shithouse, shooting threes, running the floor. He's actually has some handles. Yeah, it's Embiid. Sorry, AI. And I love AI. That was like I had the sneaks. I know Chucky loves his AIs. I had the sneaks.
Yeah, we all did. We all love AI.
I had the shorts, man. I was all in on AI, but this guy Embiid, something special. Something real special.
And that's the thing too, is that he does
health that
Joey says
that you're going to
Joey says Embiid now and all time. I respect that opinion, Joe.
I mean, yeah, but I just knock on wood, but you don't know what his health's going to be, Joey. We all talk about this.
That's the thing too, is just like if he stays healthy, he can be a dominant
If he
player.
stays healthy, he could be the GOAT.
Yeah.
But he has to win a lot of championships. How many would you say? Stays consistent with the stats
12.
he always has. How many?
12.
I'm not even going to entertain the 12. Not even
So it has to be right now. Has to be Bill Russell.
Not even going to entertain it. You said 12, whatever. I know.
17 if he wants to be Flair and Cena.
17 championships, one Joel Embiid. He is now the greatest of all time.
Oh, my Lord.
Well,
listen,
that was for you, TK.
Was that your Jim Ross?
Listen. This show.
No, that was just some kind of weird voice.
This show has far exceeded my expectations of today. We're missing two heavy hitters in Marks and Rob. That makes our show complete. But it with the text board was the all-star of today's show, and I want to thank everybody who's checked in on the text board.
It worked.
I want to thank Claude Giroux for actually playing like a captain against Pittsburgh the other night.
At away G.
Thank Willie Guns and James for being here. I want to run down one more time some of our sponsors, like Fan Tees. And if you use the Edge of Philly promo code, you get 20% off your order. I mean, just look at some of the shirts in this picture, man. The Gritty Heart one's great. I love the Birds helmet one there, the Embiid one. There's tons of them, man. Go check them out. Use your Edge of Philly promo code. Get 20% off, man. With that said, get yourself an Edge of Philly hat. They're great. It's a great hat. 4 colors, green and cream, black and white, charcoal and red, charcoal and orange. It'll go great with your Fan Tee shirt. Some of our other shows on the network, your Broad Street Bullies pod. Again, those Drew, Doyle, and Jeff bringing the laughs. Check them out, man. They have a good time doing the show like we do. We have a good time doing the show here, and I like shows that have a good time doing the show. You got Eric and Kyle Quinn on Birds IQ. I'm going to talk about birds knowledge, man. Those guys are second to none.
I know all of it.
And, of course, my man, Jim Chet Chesko and Bill Furman, the Philly Press Box radio show. Those guys are
they get really popular guests on that show.
Their guests are amazing.
They're well-spoken. Those guys know their thing. They could go back. They could go forward. Those guys know sports.
Speaking of well-spoken, the Edge of Philly Sports Show with Big Al, Joe Sheeran, and Freddie Burns. And I'd like to thank Joe Sheeran. I seen he
For
put a
Shred and Joey? Or
no. He put a post out there, and I jumped all over it. He was getting rid of some Zeppelin CDs, and I jumped all over that. He left them in studio for me. So on my way home, I will be blasting Zeppelin out of the car, and we'll let the kids listen to some of them too. My daughter loves classic rock, which I think is just awesome. But again, the EOP Sports Show Wednesday nights 9:30. Big Al, Joe Sheeran, and Freddie Burns. Can't forget our guys over at Lax Philly, Kevin and Gary. If you like lacrosse, if you follow lacrosse, you need Kevin and Gary in your life. Okay? Because it's when it comes to lacrosse knowledge, nobody's touching these guys. So please check out those guys over at Lax Philly. So with that said, I'm going to wrap it up today. I'm not even going out on music. I'm going out with saying thank you to Claude Giroux for playing like a captain. Keep it up. For Willie Guns, for James Scorza.
And the text board.
For Joe Marks, for Rob Swavely, for the text board, for all the great shows on Edge of Philly Sports and the Edge of Philly Sports Network. I'm Tom Kelly, and this is the Pattison Ave Phanatics Show, and we're out of here.
Later. See you.